Okay. Fine. So Gimel.
Yeah. History Apol Bemelocha?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
It's up until now we spoke about either he didn't start going and either he took a loss or he didn't take a loss. If he took a loss, you have to pay up his loss. If he didn't take a loss, you don't have it's all level tarumis. Then we spoke about if he went, however, it's different because once he starts going, it's already hascholas malacha. And now we come to what happens if the worker backs out and he already started working. It's mamish in the middle of the day. It's not even holak. We're talking mamish
We're talking a Poil or a Kablan?
right now. We're gonna start with a pale. He's gonna pale b'malacha.
Yeah. History Apol Bemelocha v'chozer boy b'chatzi hayoim. Yeah?
Yeah,
In the middle of the day, he decided to quit.
yeah.
ואפילו קיבל כבר דמי שכירוסוי, he already received the full amount, as if he worked the full day. ואין ביודו לשלם לבעל הבית. Now he doesn't have the possibility of paying the balabos back. He spent the money or what? He spent the money he was given?
Hold on 1 second. Uh, 1 second. I just have to bring. Give me 1 second. I just have to bring uh,
Yeah.
money to my wife. Somebody dropped something off. I'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Yeah. לא שמהריק ואין המועז ביודו לשלם. יש לו עם דווקא נוקד שאין עמוס מזום ביודו לשלם, אפילו מקומו יש לו לשלם. אבל אם אין לו לשלם כלל, אין יוכל להחזיר בו איתה, וכדברו וכדב לא בכלל דברי מחבר, אפילו אין לו לשלם כלל, יוכל להחזיר בלדום מדובר שבצר. כמו כן יוכל להקויף ולהשתבד בו בשביל כך.
Okay.
I see already what you were away. I'm looking at the shach on this.
Yeah.
Is ve'en biyod leshalem and the balabais, and in that the shach goes into a raid whether we're talking about the ein lo leshalem. He has money to pay, but he doesn't have the money mezumen to pay him. Then yochel lachzer boy because he's going to pay him. But let's say he doesn't have the money at all. That's the Shach is going to talk about that. Okay, so let's continue with the Mechaber.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. Yochel lachzor boy v'amos choiv olov shenemar kili b'nei Yisrael avodim v'lo avodim la'avodim. So he could be choizer. He has the reshus to be choizer because
Right.
he says because you're not a knecht for the rest of your life. You know.
Which means it's not. This is something that breaks from the regular logical chain that we have here. Because really, like we've seen in everything,
They shouldn't do that. Lechatchila. It's just kein ehrliche Sach.
on an even playing ground with the Seicher,
Yeah.
right? He should be everybody's even. If I have an
Yeah.
obligation, you have an obligation. If I'm tied in, you're tied in. Here, Mitamol, we see this guy he can walk out whenever he wants with no penalty.
I just wonder if all the klolim that we had previously, like he has to have a good excuse why he quit in the middle of the day, applies. You,
Nothing, nothing.
Kenton was servil.
Yeah, the only we'll see soon. The only
And
uh,
my question is, why is that? That he
the
can just
only
quit.
exception the only exception is when he's leaving because he's trying to force him to pay him more money. Then he's not allowed. Like because I
Uh,
can whatever I want. So you know what? I feel like leaving. And the guy say, wait, you can't leave. And then he's gonna make him pay him more money. This you can't do, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh, you
generally
mean like sort of playing with a guy's mind a little bit?
he could leave for and it doesn't make a difference if the prices went up, prices went down, he could leave.
He can leave without any, no questions asked. But why is he
Not allowed
leaving?
to leave for the because the prices went up.
No, but given the fact that he's not that he wants to leave, whatever the reason is, he doesn't want to work there.
But,
Not because no mind games. He's not playing any mind games. He
but,
originally thought he
but
would work there. Now he doesn't want to work there. Finished.
now if he's bound by contract, so how can break it? But here he has the right to walk away if he doesn't like it.
Obviously, he doesn't have a contract over here. Otherwise, how would he be allowed to
But
leave?
this is with the contract.
Huh?
This is with this is with it could have a contract, it could be a Kenyan, it could be everything, and he could walk away no penalty. That's the whole chiddush. Well, so wait, what's happens?
Yeah.
Because Kilib Neisal Avadim
So this is a Xenos Akosov.
logic, and it breaks all the regular way we would think about something, right? Because usually, listen, I'm sorry, buddy, you made a contract. It,
Yeah.
just like the balabas is bound by this contract, you're also bound by this contract, right?
Right.
Or even Stephen here, but
Yeah.
no. So this is the chiddush that this pasuk brings of Kilib Neisal Avadim is that even though usually usually he would be obligated. So he's not. Why? Because he's not mechuyev to be an eved, even with a contract and even with a Kenyan and even with all this.
Okay. So שנאמר לי עבודים ולא עבודים לעבודים. Okay. So let's do the Shach Tesvov. Yeah.
Let's finish up the Ramah because it's on the same.
Yeah, it is there. Okay. Umehai time hago. Umehai time also lapoyel afilu melamed oy soifer lehaskir asmoy lihois babais balabais
Yeah, the kebash.
bekeva sholoshonim.
Why? Because shalish shonim is already a rave of the amount of an eved, right? An eved ivri shei shonim tavidu b'shana shvius, right?
Oh, mehai time because of avodim velo avodim lavodim.
So if meaning it's not lachas kama v'kama. If we're letting the guy leave in middle of the contract, so lachas kama v'kama, you can't lechatchila make a contract to make yourself like an eved.
By the way, soifer over here means a melamed.
Here a sefer means a sefer stam.
He does.
Yeah, and the reason he's bringing up melamed, why afilu melamed a sefer? Because you would think that maybe a Melamed or a Sefer, because they're the Misasek and Divrei Kodesh, even if they're working for you hourly, they're still avodim to the Eibishter, not avodim to you. So Kamash Malon, no, even a Sefer and even a Melamed who's Isaac in Divrei Kodesh, but he's
Yeah.
working for the hour, it still creates a problem of avodim la avodim and not avodim to him.
And the Havamina was that since they're doing Meleches Shamayim,
So they're
so
so they're avodim
then
to Eibishter, they're not avodim.
so they should be allowed to stay for more than 3 years.
Because it's not they're not avodim. They're doing avodas kodesh. But no,
Okay,
because they are, but they're still bound to you in their avodas kodesh for 3 years. It's still not allowed.
okay. So let's do Shach, yeah? I
Yeah,
don't think there's much smear on this, right? Or no smears at all.
stop here. If there's any smet at all, oh, there is. There's a little smet in the right in the beginning. There's a smet. Smet yudalid.
Choizer.
Hiskil apayel v'chulu. On the first page where this if starts.
Is you dalid.
Yeah.
Okay. Zog the smear. Hiskil apoyla amechaber nimshachach loshen harambam. The gam who loy koso שבעל הבית אסור לחזור בו מאחר שהתחיל הפועל ואפילו לא הלכו ממקומו. what is it that the Mechaber writes the Rosh Hashanah Rambam that they come who loy kosav shebabois also lachs boy mer sheyischil hapoel afilu loy hochum mekoinman. What's meant this? Yischil hapoel b'melocha.
That it's also to go back once he starts how he started without going from his makim. I don't know. Maybe
He's saying that the Mechaber is not including the clause that would answer the balabas from retracting.
right.
In other words, it says Mechaber nimshach echad loshen Rambam. Number one, what's so special about the loshen Rambam? The gam hu loy kosov that the Rambam aleim technisch geschrieben, but they also didn't write shebalabais also lachzer boy meach sheyischil hapoel. The
Right.
balabas is not allowed to.
Well, I think the part he didn't put is vafilu loy holchem mekayman. He didn't add that.
No, he's not even including that the balabas was choizer.
Yeah.
That's the point. That he's just saying, he's just bringing the
Right.
case of the poil
Right.
chozer boy, but he's not saying anything about the balabas chozer boy.
Right. Right. Only the pale. Yeah.
Only the poil, right? The gam who loy kosa shebalabas also lachzer boy as not the balabas is not allowed to, that the balabas is not allowed to be choizer. And giving a reason attached to it, because the poel is, since the poel started working at the what does that mean that he's with hapoel even though the
I don't
loy
know.
holchum imkoiman?
Maybe he started the work in his own house, like
Yeah, I think that he got the preparations ready.
mixing the paints and all this kind of whatever, something like this.
Right. Aber bei Breise Isa, but in the Breise it does bring down that case that the hitzkel b'melocha. Okay, that afilu loy holcha boy, kivan shitzkel b'melocha. Since the poil was his b'melocha, afilu loy holach boy, that the balabos cannot retract. He doesn't bring that.
Right.
Aber, he says, over the Brisa, in the Brisa, Isa, it does bring it down. How about that?
Yeah. Because up until now, in every single case,
You had both cases, both people.
what's the obligation of the balabas? What's
the masculine and the pale.
right? Or the pale or the kablan. Here he's
Yeah.
bringing the pale.
But no mention at all. No mention at all with the masculine.
Right. Of what does the masculine? What if he retracts
Yeah. What's the rule by masculine? So he says in the Brisa, it's brought down in Bal Metzia.
Makes sense after the holchul mekayman, because the only reason that holchul mekayman means anything is because it's kihas cholas melacha. So Allah has kama mamish. He started working already. Even he didn't go yet, but he started doing stuff for it, mixing the paints, v'chulu, whatever, this kind of thing.
Right.
So how even more? It's even stronger than.
So he's trying to say that the Brisa says such a thing.
Yeah.
And the Tur actually brings it down, not like the Rambam who doesn't bring it down. The Tur brings it down based on a Brisa. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. Mashkosu shedin chazoros beis balabos kedin kablon, ve'arambam sheishmito nir'ah vesumir fregen. Look, it says that, okay, the Mechaber doesn't bring it down, but the Ramah does bring it down.
Yeah,
Besomuch.
yeah. At some, I don't think in this, not in this sif, but in a different sif, he brings it down.
No, but I'm checking what's the lotion of the Ramah over there? Do you know?
See where the Rama brings it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Besomuch.
here. If you look in the Rama on in the Rama in Sif Hey,
Okay.
right? He said
Samech
the im
simply
on the page. It's well, the im is the last word in my one anyway. The
Ve'im hoyo.
im
Yeah.
the im chazar, right? The
Uh,
im chazar balabais
v-
kablon shavar einik. So you can see that he's in different.
ואם חוזר בעל בית וקבלון, לא אומר שעובר,
And other, I don't know if that's the place he's talking about exactly, but you can see Bichlal that the
ועושו אחר כך בלוחתון, צריך לשלם לכל מלאכתון, ואין מנקה להם כלום.
finding Balabais and Kablan. So he says, oh, the Balabais is Dinik Kablan, which makes sense. They both have the same obligation. In other words, and the truth is a pale would also have the halacha of a Kablan, if not for this special thing of. So the Balabas has the same halacha like a Kablan. He has the same obligation, which a
So,
lot.
so the balabos yodel atachtoina, like by Kablan is yodel atachtoina?
Yeah,
Because that's the general rule by Kablan.
right. Yeah, so it'd be other. So if the balabas pulls out, it would be other al
So
tachtoina.
you say the muram over here goes on.
In fact, even if he pulled out on a kablan, it would be the same thing. If he's the one pulling out, would be yod ala tachtoina.
1 second.
In some cases, he would have to pay the whole thing. It wouldn't even be. It would be more than yod ala tachtoina, depending what like we have in the later sifim. But at this point, if he pulls out, it's yod ala
Besomuch.
tachtoina. If the balabas pulls out, whether on a pale or on a kablan,
Yeah.
tachtoina. If the kablan pulls out, he's yod ala tachtoina. It's only the payil that he pulls out yod ala yena, and the reason is because is libnei sala avodim. Because really, other than that, if not for the vashteit and pasuk, it would be
Yeah.
also, a payil would also be yod ala tachtoin if he pulls out. But we have a special pasuk, so it's not.
The pasuk protects him and lets him do that.
Right, even though usually, if he, other than if not for the pasuk, if he pulled out, would takibi yod ala tachtoin like everybody else, like the balabas, like the kabbalah.
והרמב"ם ששמיטוי נראה לי תימוי משום דסבירה לוי דמדין הולכו הנ"ל. נלמד לדין הסכולוסוי.
Right.
שמה שהיא...
Before, if holach is a problem, and the only reason holach is a problem is that it's kihas cholas. So I don't need to tell you that. So there's no need for me to tell you that mamish ischil is even more so.
I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm not copying. ורמב"ם ששמיטוי נראה לי תימוי משום דסבירה
Already,
דמדין הולכו, the din of הולכו, right?
right. Okay, so do you remember where do we learn out the din of halchu? Why is halchu a problem?
Because it's kehascholas melocha.
It's ki hascholas melocha. So al achas kame that hascholas hamelocha bepayil.
Yeah.
More. So the Rambam therefore doesn't feel the need to tell you this because you should already know by the fact that holchu, which is only ki hascholas melocha, is he's obligating himself. So for sure, if Imamish had did hascholas melocha, for sure he obligated himself. So why does he need to tell you this? You should be able to figure this out already.
נלמד לדין הסכולוסוי, שמה שישחייב הבעל הבייס בחזרוסוי בהליכוסוי שהוא מטעם שהליכו הסכול המקרה.
So they both hold the same thing. There's no argument there. The Tur brought the Braise. The Rambam and the Mechaber following his words don't bring it. Maybe they argue on this. So Zok this man, no, they don't argue on it. they just assume that it's selbstverständlich from what we learned about Holach, and that's why they didn't bring it, not because they argue on this.
I'll take it. Seems easy enough, no?
Yeah,
Obvious enough. Obvious enough.
they both agree. Only the Torah chose to bring it, and the Rambam chose to let you learn.
Yeah, but all that what the Smell wants to say is that he wants to point out that they kriegen sich nicht in den.
Yeah, yeah. Punkt. Punkt.
That you shouldn't get the impression that he doesn't hold that he cannot not hold of that.
Right. That he's mashmit because he doesn't
Because
agree.
he cannot not hold of this because of a Kal Vachomer. The
Right.
Kal Vachomer of Madoch
Right.
Kishaholchu is
Yeah.
ke Keascholos Meloch. Then when he okay. Venim ledin Ascholos. Nim ledin Ascholos. Shema is Chai Balabos Bechazros Belichoson Shehu Mitam Shalicha Haschola Mikre.
Right. So
It's
obviously, Haskola Mamish is going to be.
right.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can do the Shach
Yeah. You.
Yudalit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we said in the Mechaber, Bechatzi Hayoim, Choizer, that he's allowed to retract, right? So he
Yeah.
says, Choizer, Kosav et Yosef, Vezal Shoyne, Kosav Haritva, Beshem Raboisov, Sheloyom, Lushapol Yochel Lachzoir, Boy Elo, Besoicher Atzmoi, Beamido, אבל לא כל שנשתעבד בקניין לתפויה מילסה, ועושה שלא יוכל לחזור בוי.
So this
עד
is like
כאן. Huh?
this is so
He
this is
is,
like
yeah, what are you saying?
this is like you were saying before. That wait a second, a Kenyan will override it. So Taka that it holds like this.
The question is, was halter?
No, we'll see. So soon we'll see if he holds like this or not.
Right, hold on a second.
Because
אבל כשנית בקניין לתפויה מילסה,
I think he's going to bring out
Het
Mechanic.
goede milse kede zu verstärken the raid, right? You know, to reinforce. It for you is like to reinforce, no?
Yeah, like to make it better. Yeah, to make it stronger.
Make it better, yeah. We geen like twee from the word twee.
I
We
believe so.
geen kosovar bedarke Moshe, yeah. Dalet men bedarke Moshe.
Yeah,
Bestam. Rafiani is daiti. Nire shor kol ha-poiskim, שלא יחילקו בכך, לא יסביר להו הוכי, אלא נראה לפי הזאת עיקר. Ah,
right.
other poiskim don't bring that down. They don't hold with the Rashba.
Like this, and
In other words, otherwise,
them. That,
they would have been mechalik. They would have said, if he made a Kenyan, so he ain't a rishus biyodai.
right.
Made a kin, but if he didn't make a Kenyan, then you're allowed to do. Then, but they
So,
don't make a difference.
interesting because he's bringing the rit. That's the same thing that you said before. Is wait a second. What are we talking about? We're talking about what if he made a Kenyan. So
Yeah.
Taka the Ritva holds that if he made a Kenyan, it's no good. Only if it was Ba'amira.
Yeah, that's so Baruch Shekavanti. It was not a bad.
Now he's going to explain why he doesn't hold this way.
Yeah, begin because of that. Near the date neither. She'or kol ha'paisim shel chilku kol isfira lehu hochi. Begin neither lafine date ika. Begin.
In the Shach is holding that even with a Kenyan, it's still he can,
Even what?
even with a Kenyan he can be chayzik.
Even with a Kenyan, he's allowed to quit. וגם מטיימה דריבן ישראל לעבודים, משהו כל העניין יכול לחזור בוי. וכן משהו לפי הסדאית מה שכוסף הראש, פרק הזוהב בטור רבנו ירוחם, ושאר הפויסקים גם במשיחס כלי, האומנוס, דאף אגב דמהנה לעניין קבלון, שנגמר קניין הסחירוס בכך, מכל מקום, פועל יוכל לחזור, יוכל לחזור.
And Mashiachas Keli is Zakinyan. It's Mashiach. It's Mamish Zakinyan. Just like by Metaltalin.
So how could he be chayzer then?
No, so he says why? No, so he can and we see there that he can be chayzer. So what
Where
do
did he say? Where did he say that? The Rosh says that.
by the Rosh and by what's by
The Rosh doctor so, yeah. The Avar the Mehanelin in Kablan in Kaskiris because Malcolm Poel Yochelas. Oh,
we see that he
stay
can.
doch am Meise. I understand what he's saying. Stay but some fragen. You're gonna ask me like this. You'll ask me a question, right? That he talking that he should be allowed to do it even when he made a kinyan. How could a Poel leave it when we know that the kid? So the answer is that if that's only by a kablan or by but by a soich and a poyel, so then that overrides the pasuk overrides the kinyan. That's what it means to say.
Right, and we see this befeirush in the Rosh and the other paiskim that they hold like this, that they hold that with Mashiach a kablan cannot be chazer and a poyel can be chazer.
If you deutlich gaat ik ben bechol dochter ki hadod dininu v'gam behagos ashti mehariach.
In other words, why is Mashiach different than any other kinyan? So where do you find a source that we can be mechalik between Mashiach and other kinyanim? Meaning, if you're going to tell me by Mashiach, yeah, by other kinyanim, no, right? So then we're what's it called? Where do you find the?
Even though it's talking about it's talking about Mashiach, right?
Right. So right, how
Mashiach's kli. So
right.
You'll tell me, you know something? You know why by Mashiach, why in the case over there you can't, you can go back and work because Mashiach's kli is stronger.
So
it's deutlich to say such a thing.
And he can still be chayzer by Mashiach's kli.
So right? What are you going to tell me? That the reason why? I know what he says. I know what he says.
So what? You can tell me only by Mashiach's kli, but other kinyonim no.
But first he says you can't be mechalik between 1 second. You can't be mechalik between a poyel and a soich and the kablan. It's schwer to be mechalek between Mashiach's kli and she'or kinyonim. He says beide Sachen nicht.
Well, no. He says between a kablan and a poyel, we see that they are.
So he says that you can, but you cannot be.
Like this. It's very simple. He says like this. The Rosh and the Ben Yerucham and everybody else, he's bringing an extra proof that even with a kinyan he can be chayzer. So the first proof he brings is that other paiskim don't mention it. They don't mention with this idea of that with a kinyan he cannot be chayzer by a pale.
Right.
And mistam they don't bring it because they don't agree with it. That's why they don't bring it. So
they don't say befeirush. They're just not mechalik.
Well, no, it's not just it's not it's but it means they don't right. They're not mechalik between kinyan and no kinyan.
Yeah. So since they're not mechalik, shmami know that.
So Kamash Malon, they hold that without a kinyan he can be chazer, and with a kinyan he can be chazer. No difference.
Right.
Furthermore, his second proof is the whole idea of libnei, because you're trying to fit this into but with a kinyan, but without a kinyan. It's not because of a logical thing here. It's because libnei Israel.
Yeah.
Avodim v'lo avodim la'avodim. Right. So
it makes no difference with a kinyan, without a kinyan. Finish.
Kinyan. Meaning what? And by Amira he didn't have a chiyuv. So you're going to say, the pasuk only brings you out from this level of chiyuv and not that level. The pasuk brings you out of the chiyuv. Done. Doesn't make a difference if it was a kinyan or not a kinyan. Okay. The third thing it says is you see by the Rosh and other Paiskim that in the case of Meshichas Kli, they're also not mechalik between Kinyan and no Kinyan. Even with a Kinyan, right? Meaning Meshicha, with specifically the Kinyan and Meshichas, he can still Chayzer by. So what are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me that there's a difference between Meshicha and other Kinyanim?
Is he going back to the first tam and then saying that you can't be mechalik between kinyan and malki?
He's basically bringing different proofs.
I know. The first proof is that the poskim don't mention the chiluk. The second proof is the whole thing is there's no reason to be mechalik because it's exeris hakosov that liben Yisrael avodim avodim velo avodim lavodim, and so it makes no difference.
Is we see befeirush by Meshichas Keli that that the Rosh and the other Paiskim hold that Chayzer Bey.
Right.
So okay. Well,
it says Meshichas Keli. It doesn't say the other kinyonim.
Right. But okay.
That he says from deswegen it's schwer to be mechalek between Meshichas Keli and the other kinyonim.
Right. Where do you find the mucker to be mechalik between Meshich and other kinyonim? Right. The bechol duchte ki adadininu.
Hold on a second. Just a technical point.
It's the same thing. The same din. Meshich and other kinyonim.
Right. Just as a point of thing, the Meshicha is also Kinyan. So when it says Meshicha leKinyan, it means what?
So Zok Dishak Kamash Malon any Kinyan. Because why? Because where do you find to be mechalik between Meshicha and other? You show me another place where we're mechalik between Meshicha and other kinyanim. There's no such place. So why all of a sudden here we should say let's be mechalik dafke by Meshicha he can't be chayzer, but by other kinyanim he
So as a point of interest, I just wanted to know what other kinyanim was he referring to?
It could be what's it called? A Kinyan Star, a Kinyan Sudar,
Kesef also.
The Kinyanim.
Yeah, it's interesting that you should depict Kinyan.
Kesef, whatever Kinyan.
Kesef, that's what I thought. Kesef, yeah, the commitment of Kesef, right? Not the tashlum of the Kesef, the Kinyan Kesef.
Here, I'm giving you a sign-on bonus, ways,
Very good, very good. Okay, so it says like this: Poel yochel lachzoy. Bedoichik lechalek, it's a doichik mechalik to sein, bein Meshichas Kinyan. The bechol duchter ki hodaninhu, ki hadodininhu. They're always equalized. They never separate. Okay, become needed. They have a Kinyan dvorim, kibashkos of a Rambam, mehilchos mechira. הרי שכוסו בשטר וקניונוי מפלויני שילך בסחוירה עם פלויני, הרי זה קניין דבורים. He writes it in the star, right? The case over here, the case of what the Rambam says, הלכס מחירה, הרי שכוסו בשטר וקניונוי או בקנינו מפלויני. But שילך בסחוירה עם פלויני, בקנינו. This is what you write in the ksuva, the kaninu minei. That everybody writes it. They write it in that, right? They write it. I think Lubavitch does that. No.
And then when you read it and then you add the kaninu, yeah.
Yeah, in Lubavitch they do it under the chuppah, right? They stop in the middle of the chuppah.
I think they do it by the. By the what's it's interesting though.
We do it under the chuppah or not?
By Kabbalah's ponim, not by the l'chaim, not by the vart. Like
no, that's it.
Others.
No, they do the tanoim. One second, they do the. Yeah, no. They do the belt does the kinyonim not on the. From the Choshen, from the Tanoim is not the kinyan of the Choshen, the kinyan of the Mechutonim. Yeah, but I think I forgot whether we write the kaninu minei, whether you do it under the chuppah, you write the kaninu minei. I don't remember, or you do it in the by the Kabbalah Sponim. They fit it in when he by the Kabbalah Sponim, and he does then he before that, like a minute before that, you tell the chosen to pick up the gartel,
Yeah,
and he said he should be mekabel kinyan. Ah, then they write it down, and they have there the edim there.
yeah,
So, that's called kinyan devarim, I think.
yeah.
Kinyan
Meaning, meaning,
devarim k'mashkov Harambam,
meaning
because he says
it's not
that
the star isn't establishing anything. It's witnessing something.
it's a witness, right? It's
We
the
witness, we witness that he made a Kenyan.
yeah. Kinyan devarim means he commits himself bedibur, right?
Yeah, and we witnessed that he committed himself. Dibur.
Did he do a peula in order to do that or not?
Well, by us we do a sudir also.
I know, but I'm saying here.
But the
Here.
is he said before them, okay, I'm agreeing to such and such. That's
I take upon myself the commitment without necessarily doing a Maisa Kinyan. Because otherwise it's not Kinyan Devarim.
right. Otherwise, it would be once the gartel. That's already a sudir.
So exactly. So I say over here like this. It says the pshat is the gamdi that have a Kinyan Devarim kivish kosev Rambam הרי שכוסו בשטר וקנינו מפלויני שילך בסחרם פלויני, הרי זה כנין דבורים, ואף שהרייבד בהסוגויסף שום נראה שמוידר לי לוי בזה, בדווקא בשותוף עם פוליגלי בפרק ד' מהלכס שלוחין לעניין הרווח שהרוויחו, כבר, אוי, der ganze Machlokes ist noch von früher, nicht mehr kann ja? Oy mitam de kibente mishtab de adodi lo shayach lo imar abodim ve'ayin b'maharik.
Meaning by a shutif, it's just by the nature of shutfus. You can't see you can't say that they're entering into avdus.
So he says ve'ulai gam hamechaber chozer boy. V'lekach lo chilek kan b'shulchan aruch. Oh, before we wanted to say that the Ramah later is a hashloma to here. You remember?
Yeah.
we can lose cup over here.
Right.
In other words, the Loshen Atur, which is a brisa,
yeah,
which says that which talks about the him being choizer boy, right? Why the Machaber doesn't bring it? So
right.
the answer is because the Ramah will be mashlim for you. So that pshat that we said before, so then the Ramah doesn't, the Mechaber doesn't argue with the Tur. Like it was Mekatzer Beloshen, and the Ramah was mashlim, right? That's the Behalach. But now he's saying something different. So Ken Gor Zayin that it's a Machloikas Mechaber Ramah, that the Mechaber does not hold of that. That's what he says. He said
no, but meaning that
Ulai gam mechaber chozer boy velekach.
His problem is the Bes Yosef. In Bes Yosef, he brings the ritba.
The ritba, yeah. So it could be that over here, or we could say that he holds it over here too.
He doesn't bring it. So maybe from when he wrote it in Bes Yosef until now, he
was chozer. Initially, we didn't want to go that route. Initially, we want to say that the Mechaber holds still what he wrote in the Beis Yosef. He doesn't write it?
In the Beis Yosef, he brings the Ritva. So he must hold that way.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he doesn't write it. He was Mekatzer. Later, the Ramah is Mashlim. He doesn't always have to argue, right? I'll be that.
Maybe the Mechaber himself went back on it.
And therefore, if that's the case, what the Ramah wrote later in Sif Dalet that you showed us, right? That's Takar Machloikas. He said because he was Choizer, but the Ramah still holds like what the Beis Yosef wrote originally.
And even there, we see even there we say there's really no argument. Why? Because there he was just going by the Lashon HaRambam, and we know the reason he was Mekatzer. That was by a Kabbalah. Yeah. That a balabas is the same as a kablin, right?
Yeah.
So okay, but here the problem is that here
He doesn't write it out.
Over there, he doesn't bring. The problem here we have is that in Bes Yosef he brings he's mechalik.
The Bes Yosef is mechalik between Kablan and
Kablan, no, not a Kablan. What's it called? In the case of the Kablan, and that he found for different. He found for Pasha that he's mekatzer because you could figure it out yourself that a Kablan and a Balabas are the same. But here, here you can't say that because he says which was Nesmeh. But here because he says that because here in the Bes Yosef he says befeder she brings the ritba, that there is a difference. So you can't say he's mekatzer because you'll figure it out for yourself. You can't say the same thing because the Bes Yosef he says befeder. So he answers maybe the mechaber, but here he's mekatzer and there he says it. So maybe it shows that he went back on it. He changed his opinion on that.
Not that he was Bekatz over here, because he was Chayzer over here. That's what he wants to say.
Right, and therefore he's Mekatzer and doesn't bring it because he doesn't.
Right. But Ulai Gam Mechaber Chayzer boy Gam is a little interesting to use the word Gam.
Where I don't have Gam in mind.
But Ulai Gam Mechaber Chayzer boy.
Right. So meaning in addition to all these other, because he just brought a bunch of other poskim.
Yeah.
But these poskim clearly argue on that don't hold by the ritba. And then he says, so maybe
the Rosh, for example, he
So he's saying, so like Gamma Mechaber, maybe even the Mechaber himself doesn't hold like this anymore. Not just that the other poskim don't hold this. The Mechaber himself does. In the end,
the Gam goes in that he now the Chaber is agreeing with the rest of the the Rosh. The Rosh who's the most famous. You know, he seems to be spearheading the Machloikas, I think. He says "Bekach lo chilek kan b'shulchan ben nishtabed bekinin oiloi." Why? Because
usually when it's a Rosh Narit, but the Rosh trumps.
Yeah, sure. So then, in either cases, he's allowed to be chayzer. You know what I'm saying?
Even if there's a kinyan, no.
Yeah.
And not just and he said ulai gam, and then he also says kain little and he's daiti. That the Shach, I believe that this is the case. Is that when he wrote Bes Yosef, he was giving thought to that ritba, and when he wrote Shulchan Aruch, by this time he paskin no, we don't go by the ritba.
I just want to see something. What did the Tur? Was the Lashon Tur? The Tur says that you can always be chayzer. No.
The Tur says and the Tur brings it. Well, the Tur and others, he doesn't bring it here. He brings it by Mashiachas Keli. But like the Shach says, what's the difference Mashiachas Keli to kingdom?
That's the ritva.
Right, the Tur is Mekatzer here.
Excuse me, we missed a point over here. Schreibt da, v'chein kosav bedarke Moshe bestam. Darke Moshe is a Ramah. You understand how he connects the dots? So then, the Ramah later...
Meaning what? He writes it without the ritba.
That the Ramah later, who is the Darke Moshe, is the same person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is tied to that. Is based the Darke Moshe he wrote before the Ramah. You know what I'm saying?
That's why ulai gam hamechaber chazar bay. Just like beautiful. Just like the Ramah was chayzer, gam hamechaber chayzer bay. Beautiful.
Let me see. Ve'im chozer balaboy the kabron. Because the Ramah that you quoted later is only talking about a kablan.
Well, he's talking about that Ramah is by this from the Smeh. He's just that's a question not of the Payil. That's a question of the Balabas. What's the Balabas's rule? So that the Ramah later is
So which Ramah are we talking about over here?
Here he doesn't mention the Ramah. The Ramah.
Al kolponim zetman that even if when there was a Kenyan or not a Kenyan, the Ramah would hold that you're allowed to be chayzer.
Or maybe the Darkei Moshe in the first place writes it bistam. No, because he wouldn't say v'chein.
V'chein kosa b'Darkei Moshe bistam that whether that what? The Ramah holds. You want to hear? The Ramah holds like the Ritva, right?
Yeah, that's what it would seem. At least in Darkei Moshe.
Okay. So let's go. Let me give you a two guys. You do a Ritva was held as you don't make a difference between Chazer boy between Kenyan and no Kenyan, right?
Yeah.
That you know that what. So the Ritva says if you don't make a Kenyan, yochel lachzer boy. If he does a Kenyan, eno yochel lachzer boy. Und so schreibt der Darkei Moshe Oichet. That's why the Darkei Moshe also writes like that, right? And then he writes, and you should know that the Shara Poskim hold whether you made a Kenyan or you didn't make a Kenyan, yochel lachzer boy, right? Yeah. The Mechaber over here. The Mechaber over here omits the din completely, right? That might give us the impression that what?
So from there we see that Mistama he was chayzer also on it.
Originally, we want to say that what?
Well, originally we wanted to say oh that in the Bes Yosef we see he holds that only that there's a chiluk. But he says, however, from the
so over here, it's over here too. There's a chiluk.
He's not mechalik, so we could say that maybe the mechaber also, by the time he wrote Shulchan Aruch, he retracted, he changed his mind.
Yeah, but this is what I tell you. The Ramah that he says that he's saying over here. So he says like this. So he says they have a kinyan. So he wants to say that the mechaber holds like the Tur.
Yeah. Despite what he says in Bes Yosef, that time he wrote Bes Yosef.
How do you know that? Do we have a Ramah to support it or something or what?
No. He brings it as he's going to support it soon. But he brings it that it could be that even the mechaber. In other words, first he's saying
before Choshen. I understand. Choshen is the easiest way to.
Yosef, he says like this, and I disagree with the mechaber. I strongly disagree on what the mechaber is saying for all these reasons. And then he's saying, and it could be even the mechaber himself in the end doesn't hold this way.
Because the truth of the matter is we don't really know what the mechaber holds.
No, we know what Bes Yosef was.
We know what the so we assume our first instinct is to assume that the mechaber over here holds like what he wrote over there.
And Bes Yosef, right?
And there he holds like a Ritva, right? Over there he holds like a Ritva.
And so here he says, and it could, and you know what? Maybe from the fact that the mechaber did not bring it here.
Yeah, maybe it was Chayzer.
Maybe he was Chayzer, and then he's going to bring that. But this he says is Kain Nidal Ifyan Daiti. But then he's going to say that he found this befeirush in the Rivash.
That what? That the yesh.
The shuv
Jason,
must.
ונסעתי שמחה בליבי,
Yeah, when I say simba libi,
תודה לקהל.
yeah, take the lakel v'zel sheni.
שאין חילוק בין סחילוס פייל ליום אחד, או סחיר שבס, או סחיר חידש, או סחיר שונה. Skhir Shabbos means weekly. Doesn't mean the Skhir of Shabbos. It means a weekly.
Yeah, he means kir shavua.
Yeah, Shavua, yeah. Oy Skhir Chedesh, Oy Skhir Shona, Oy Shoy Ukablan, Shekibel Kama Likzoy, Oy Kerem Livzoy, שבכל אלו אין צורך קניין, אלו הסחולת המלוכה היא הקניין, אלו שהפועל יוכל להחזיר בו לאלם אפילו הזכיר המלוכה אפילו בקניין.
Right,
Very good.
he's saying Nachmer, even by a kablan we're not mechalik ben kinyan.
No. It's not pshat. It's not pshat.
Yeah, he's saying even by a kablan, we're not mechalik ben hascholas melacha and kinyan. Right? What's the whole point here? Are we mechalik between hascholas melacha?
Yeah, but the Indians said they're the same. The Indians said they're the same, but the chiluk is on whether they're allowed to quit or not.
A kablan and a payil.
Whether they're allowed to quit or not. As far as the Indian as cholas melocha, they're all the same.
Right, even meaning by a kablan is also in this kin chiluk. The only difference is a kablan cannot be chayzer even without a kinyan, and the pale can be chayzer even with a kinyan.
Yeah.
So we see even by a kablan there's no nafkamina bein kinyan and no kinyan. Rather, the hascholas malacha is a kinyan already when it comes to working. Whether it's whether it's kablan, whether so
when it says I wouldn't shut like this in the Ribosh. שאין חילוק בין סחילת פועל ליום אחד, או סוחי שבס, או סחיר חוידש, או סחילת שונה, או קבלן שקיבל כמה ליקסר, לעניין הסחולס מלוכה. There's no chiluk in all of that. That you have to, that once you start working, you have to pay, right? שבכל אלה אין צורך קניין, no the הסחולס, ואלו הסחולס מלוכה הוא קניין, אלו So as far as Escholas Melocha is concerned, they're all equal. That they all the Escholas Melocha applies to each and every one of them equally.
And not just that, and there's no nafkamina bein Escholas Melocha and he made a kinyan or he didn't make a kinyan.
Exactly.
It's a kinyan. It's also a kinyan.
Exactly.
When it comes to any kind of worker, whether 1099 or W2, it's hascholas melacha for working is a kinyan.
Yeah.
So he's not just there's no difference between Meshicha and other kinyanim. There's no difference between even hascholas melacha and a kinyan. For melacha, that's a kinyan, and for who is that a kinyan? Everybody. For the balabas, for the kablan, for the payil, for the schiriyim, everybody.
But then he says Elo, novos then the chiluk between the poil and the kablan is poil yochel lachzor boy leolam afilu ischil hamelocha vafilu bekinyan, right?
Right. Why? Because lo yavodim lavodim.
But in what? So we know that the difference is as far as quitting is concerned, and that's really the main thing that we're interested over here.
Yeah.
To show, because he's very samachti belibi when he saw the Tuvas Arivosh, black and white, that whether that as far as
the Rivosh takes what he had by him, that needle of Fianius Daiti.
Yeah.
And he takes all of this and he brings a very clear, solid proof that there's no difference between a kinyan and there's no difference between kinyan and not kinyan. Le'inyan
chazorah, le'inyan chazorah, right? By a poil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing to point out, not to that is something that we know very, very well. Just as a reminder, remember that the similarity that there is between a poil and a kablan is the as far as the haschola is concerned.
But the Aschola, yeah, it's a Aschola
That's
equals a kinyan. Sorry.
equal. Yeah. So the question is the haschola the haschola does haze kinyan?
Yeah. So
But
he,
that is
the Rivash points out not just there's no difference between Meshicha and other kinyonim. There's no difference even between Haschala and other kinyonim. Once Hischil, it's a kinyan. So, and we see by Hischil, not only that, our whole case is only talking about Hischil. It's Hischil and then Cheze B'chetzi Yaim. So, in other words, the Rivash is saying you could read this sugya as he made a kinyan and then he was Cheze B'chetzi Yaim. Like, what situation? There's no possible situation where there's no kinyan here. So you're telling me be bechalik between kinyan and a kinyan? There is no such situation that there's a kinyan, because the haschal is a kinyan already, and here we're that hischil. So it's possible for there to be a achiluk.
in English you call this oversimplification.
Ironclad.
Yeah, but it's like overly simplified.
Right, he might be black and white.
Black and white, die Stor zwischen Mita Kinyan und Kinyan, weil die Ascholas am Meloch das ist a Kinyan.
Right, and he blows the whole thing out of the water.
The whole thing, yeah. Okay, now back to the Ritva now. He says, Venida de Gam Haritva loy kommer elo bekablen. Wow.
Right. So, and not only that, and now that we've just looked at this Rivash, and we've looked at how clear and essentially unarguable he's made the situation. So now let's say that Mistama, even the Ritba himself, that's not what he was saying, because in light of what we just heard from the Rivash, how could he be saying that?
He says it's not so poshut. You should see. Well, the Indian shenu yochel lachzor boy b'shum moment kemo shekasabti, no? V'dira de gam riva shel komer elo bekablon. The Indian shenu yochel lachzor boy b'shum moment kemo shekasabti le'il sivkot dalet b'shem hagos ashri. The afa b'she pshat loshen haritva. Loi mashma kain to be bechalek between.
Well, his lush to be mechalik by even by a pale.
Yeah, even by a poil, exactly. It seems that whatever he said by one applies to the other. Shu motzoti b'tshuvas mabit, yeah.
Yeah.
Close
to this whole thing.
חלק ב' סימן קולן ב' שכוסף שאילו רו הריבוש דברי הריטבו בשם רבי סוף אולי לא היה חולק עליהם. לפי הנסדות העיקר כהריבוש. Very good, very good. Okay. So we have to remember the bottom line. Bottom line is that Shach holds, right?
The Shach holds is ein mechalik. And furthermore, he holds that even the mechaber isn't mechalik, and it could be that even the Ritba himself isn't mechalik. Even though there is the possibility that the Ritba was mechalik taka. But in either case, he holds.
No, he says in Pashas Haloshon.
Pashas Haloshon, he's mechalik, yeah.
He's mechalik. We don't say he's not mechalik, and then he saw. Or
we see from the Mabit that the Mabit holds that his boy is
that what he hold it. What the Ribosh is saying, he would not say if he would have seen the Ritva in the meaning. He seems to think that the Ribosh didn't see the Ritva inside.
Right, and had he's meaning the Ribosh isn't necessarily being mechalik. The Rivash is making a statement that makes it very clear So he's saying
Yeah,
that perhaps if he saw the Divrei Haritba, he would have changed his he would have changed his mind.
right. Okay. Vein biyodel shalim. Oh, this is the famous shach that I started learning before. Vein biyodel shalim. Right, we're talking about a case where a person, a balabos, paid the poil for the whole day. Yeah,
Yeah, he paid him, and
and
now he
then
quits, and he already spent the money.
he spent the money. Exactly, he spent the money. 1 second. And what happened? So, and he doesn't have the money. He says, "Afilu mos choyv alav ve'ein biyodoi leshalem b'bal habayis yochel lachzir boi v'hamos choyv alav."
Yeah.
He has the money, but he says, "Erod geld en biyodoi leshalem."
Right. So why is he saying?
That's not me'akev him from quitting. It's not me'akev him from quitting, except the hamois choyv alav. He now is
Right. I
uh,
don't have it here on me, but I have the money. So
he's a creditor to him now. He's a creditor to him. He owes him money. But it's very important to remember that the main point that Bechaber wants to point out over here is the fact that the Shibud Kesef is not me'akev him from quitting. It's very important to remember this. No,
right.
because otherwise you would have thought, what rights does he have to quit? He gave him the money, right? Oh, he gave them money, and so at least give them money back. If you give the money back, it's not a question. What about if he doesn't have the money handy? So he says, "Oh, bleib ben achoiv, abal choiv bayam." He should be he's a creditor to him,
Yeah.
right? Shenemar kili bnei Yisrael avodim. That overrides that. That the fact that he says in the pasuk kili bnei Yisrael avodim overrides it, even if he paid him in ganzen and he doesn't have money to pay him yet. He still has a right to quit because of the pasuk of kili bnei Yisrael avodim.
Yeah. So now he's going to try to figure out what exactly are we talking about. If he doesn't have the money on hand, or if he
Exactly.
have the money.
Oh, he doesn't have money, period. Okay. Vein biyod shalem loshen marik. Vein amos biyod shalem. So means to sagen, dass hat nicht Geld mit sich zu bezahlen, yeah?
Yeah.
Ve'efshar loimer, it could well be that davke noket shen amos bezum biyodoi leshalem. That maybe it says it could well be that when he rightfully could still quit despite that he doesn't have the money. He's talking about when he doesn't have the money handy. Beyodoi leshalem. Abal bikol mokom yesh lo yishalem. He goes to the ATM machine. He does have money in the bank, or he does have money at home, right?
Yeah.
Aval, is it im ein loy leshalem klal? But if he's broke, if the guy is broke and he doesn't have any money what to pay with, ein yochel boy. He doesn't have the right to quit on him.
Right. So maybe we could say,
And so then ein yochel boy. They have a kedover ha'obud. They come on siv hey. By dover ha'obud, he's responsible, right?
yeah.
You can't quit by dover ha'obud. In other words, a person cannot get up and say, "I'm quitting" by dover ha'obud, even by a poyo.
Right. Right. This we are like we know in the latest ifim.
So here, the money is a dover ha'obud.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So maybe we're saying here, and maybe that's why he's saying biyodei, because if it's not biyodei, it's a davar avud.
אבל מדברי המחבר נרד אפילו אין לו לשלם כלל יוכל לחזור. I don't know, he's not telling you why, but he says, I don't know why in Pashtus he says, on the one hand, at the beginning he said
Right, because the Mechaber, which is funny, because the Mechaber says ve'in biyodei.
Beyond, and that was a diuk. Now he's dropping the diuk. I don't know. Okay, we have to sustain. Not yet. Let's see. Maybe he explains it. Aber mit dem Mechaber nicht da viel ein Leule Shalom Klal Yochel lassen, believe.
Maybe he means later. That later is
Yeah, Efsher will sagen a diuk he does, but it's a small diuk. It's not like it's not mucher.
and we see later when the Mechaber is talking about Davar Avud, it's not mashma that he's talking about this sort of situation. He's talking Davar Avud, not never like Kesef.
Also, beyond the Shalem, it's not such a big diuk.
Right. It means
he doesn't have it now with him, or he doesn't have it in Gansen. It could mean either.
It's meaning his ability.
Exactly. It's a shtickle diuk, but it's not muchrich. That's what he wants to say.
Yeah.
That's why that's so. But aber mit dem Mechaber nicht da filo ein lo Shalom klal yochel lachzoi. Yeah. ולא ידום לדובר העבוד שסייכר עליו אוי בתוי, ובכמו כהן אינו יוכל לקויפוי להשתבט בוי בשביל כך.
Yeah. That even though
יוכל לקויפוי להשתבט בוי בשביל כך.
even though it's a Davar Avud, but maybe the Mechaber does not consider it the same like a Davar Avud, where he hires somebody else or he tricks him. That in that case he would say, "I'm sorry, but you can't back out." But
when he said that Mikol Markoim, is that going onto this case over here?
This case, yeah.
Not the case of Davar Avud, because they're Yochel Lakov.
By that case, he cannot back out.
Yeah, over there Yochel Lakov, but
yeah. Right, so maybe we could say there's that with Alik between parts of
אבל בדברי המחבר נילה דפילו אין לא יודע מקומו אין יוכל. The lotion of Mikomokoi is a little bit strange for me. Okay, I'm not gonna start going crazy. I just want to say Mikomokim enu yochel lakoifoi could just be. It's a little funny unless he wants to say Avo. So since it's not the same as a what?
To a Davar Avud, to a regular
Avud, Mikomokim enu yochel lakoifoi lishtabed boy bishvil kach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inami avagav de ein loy leshalem, chot shvelot nishvos batzolen, loy mikre bishvil kach dover ha'avod.
Or maybe we don't Bichlal even call it a Davar Avud.
Yeah.
We could say
Avagav de isa le simen amzayin seif yud de lamrinen shema is asher.
Right, in that case, we don't say, okay, well, maybe he'll get the money. And when he gets the money, he'll pay.
Yeah,
in that case, we don't say that. So why are we saying that's essentially what we're saying when there's a chayv? Okay, when he gets the money, he'll pay you. And we see in that case, we don't say that. Fine, but that's the Indian Edus.
Can I ask you a question? What is a person supposed to do in a case like this?
What do you mean?
He doesn't show. He quits. Doesn't show up. Doesn't have the money to pay. So he loses his money. Like, what's the story? Seriously.
What do you mean he doesn't? Well, here we're talking about he wants to quit.
Yeah, but he wants to quit in a case where the balabos paid him in Gansen.
Where am I going to move it to? What? Who said? What? They're clearing this. And who's clearing this now? Okay. Well, I think tell her what's it called? I'm going to be done like 12 minutes. Okay, fine. I'll move in 12 minutes. Right.
Here he wants to.
You paid him. What are you supposed? So that's the question. The question is it is the guy allowed to leave or not? Or can you
Yeah,
force him to
I'm
stay?
I'm not focused on that. Already, I understood that he's allowed to leave, even with the Kenyan, even with everything, even
No,
if he
so
doesn't
here
have
the question
money,
is,
even if he has money now, even if he doesn't have money at
but
home.
here it looks like the shach is mistapik. It looks like the shach is mistapik. If are we only talking about if he had when he has the money?
So
Just
I'm
he
saying
here?
on the on
Or
that is
what if
that
he doesn't
talk.
have any money at all? Because again, that's like, so what am I supposed to do then when the guy wants to leave? And what? He's gonna, okay, maybe he's gonna have it later. So and he tries to bring a proof from that because by Edus, we see the case there's a case over there where we don't rely on the fact that, oh, maybe he'll have money later and he'll pay you. He says, but that's for Edus. Here we say that. We say, we say when he'll have the money, he'll pay you. So basically, you allow him to become Baal Chayv. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
by the way, again,
uh,
that's the chidush of
yeah,
Li Beisal Avadim. It's
okay,
taken up fair, right? This in this whole sugi from top to bottom, right?
yeah,
Everything we've seen in Choshen Mishpat is about the balance of rights,
yeah,
and here it's taka this case 100%. It's not a balance of rights. I paid him
yeah,
already. Now what am I supposed to do? You're right. It's a harsh thing on the balabas, but libnei salavadim avadim lavadim. What can you do?
very good.
Because really, this is not the logical. The whole Choshen Mishpat goes on a very logical and proper feeling balance of everybody's rights. And in this case, it doesn't. And he explains why. Because it's a pasuk that tells us like this.
It
So
overrides a lot. The pasuk has tremendous koyach.
all the everything. This is what the pasuk says.
Okay, you want to do the Ramon now? Do you think we can do it in 10 minutes? Otherwise,
Oh,
the Ramon with the Shach and one little smeh.
let's try.
Okay, let's try to do it. Okay, zog der Ramon. Steht Hago umehai timer also lepoyel afilu melamed doi sefer lehaskir atzmei lihiois be what?
The vase balabais.
Beis balabayis
Right? So because of this,
bekeva shaloshonim, because then it would seem as
also
if
so it goes without saying that you can't lechatchila put yourself in a place of where you're 3 years by a contract to somebody, because that's
right.
already sheish, right? With sheish shanim tavid yotzachinam, and since you've already gone into the rave of the years of avdus, it's like putting
Yeah.
yourself in avdus.
Okay. So let me learn.
So snap.
Zog desme. Oi.
I'm not also not out there. I have I'm working until for another 7 minutes. Where's this fully here? Yeah. So gimel so bekeva shalishanim. The gimel shonim shem eved v'sachir olav. Dichsiv mitzay
Yeah.
shalishanim. Right. It says
Okay.
mitzay shalishanim.
Here we go. My time nearly hainu davke sheyesh le parnosa. Yeah, that one. Oh, bekeva shaloshonim the gimel
Oh,
shonim
yeah.
im obi the sochir olav dichsiv beshaloshonim kishnei sochir. What's that about? It's a pasuk in Yeshayahu.
Yeah. Mitzay shalishanim sachir. So this is how we know. And when it's talking about a sachir there, it's talking about the, what do you call it?
So it says it has an
Up to 3 years is called a sachir, and more than 3 years is called an eved.
beyoiser megimel shonim nikra eved. Nikra eved. Eved. Okay. Zog the shach, yeah? מעט time also nearly the hainu davke sheyesho panosa ksus ki bekayvno also limkor atzme lev divri 'Beteres kenim. וברמב"ם נסמג רי שילחוס עבודים, אבל אם הוא עוני בייסר, שאין לו אפילו כסוס, דכוסף הרמב"ם נסמג שום דמותר למכור את עצמי. ופשיטא דהיכא דמותר למכור את עצמי, when he doesn't have anything, מותר אפילו לשונים הרבה. כדאיסא בש"ס, פרק כמה דקדושים, דף י"ד עמוד בייס, והרמב"ם, פרק ב' בעבודים, אם כן, בכהי גד בפשיטא נמי, דמותא דסוכר עצמי בקבע לייסר משלוש שונים, דלא יגור ממכר עצמי. So the more only, that's only,
meaning if he's in that situation, he can mamish sell himself as an evidivity.
yeah.
Here, it's like he's an Evid. But in such a case where he mamish doesn't have his needs, he can mamish sell himself to be an Evid kipshute. So for sure here he'd be allowed.
Yeah. Okay, weiter. בקבע שלוש שונים וכן הוא בדרכי משה, ריש סמך, שלמדן הלכו בספר באל שבע, דף ק"ד, ובספר אגודס עזויב, דף ק"ז, עמוד ד' כוסוב, דתו ספר הוא. וזה קורא יוסף מגיל משונים. Not just
Right.
not just
Probably shonen, but more than 3.
בקבע שלוש שונים.
Yeah.
קבע יוסף שלוש שונים. כן הוא בהגוס מותחה דברים נכונים שכן מבואר בהגוס מאמיניאס, כי לי בני ישראל עבודים ולא עבודים. תימה אם כן כשם שאוסר למוכר בעבד עברי, כך הוא אוסר להשכיר עצמי ולקורא הוכר פועל עבד. יש להם דפועל למקרה עבד אלא סוחר. ועוד ילפין להם עבד היינו לעניין כולה, דהיינו דכסיב כמשונס שכר סוחר עבדיך, דהיינו שש, כדכסיב ושיו שלוש שם בשני סוחר, אם כן.
אם כן, עבד עברי בוב שונים.
דהיינו משנה שכר סוחר. נראה דמייתם יש ישראל דמלמד אוי לסופר אוי שר מלוכס שלא להזכיר עצמי להיות בייס בלבוס בקבע אימוי ולהיות סמוך על שולחון בלי הפסק יוסף בגימל שונים, דכל צווי בגימל שונים.
נפקלי מתירה סחיר ועבד.
And he goes into Eved. ועבד גומר הוא. ועבד גומר לא have לכל הלכויסו, כמו כן, כיוון דנפקוסו מתירה סוחר, it's enough, bad enough. That's what he's saying, okay? It's like gray area. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, and that's why it's better to.
It's better to be ktsat raya mipedek. The truth of the matter is, when I was learning this, I was a little bit, because I know that Eved is 6 years.
By the way, this it's also from here, from this shach. You also learn from this shach. You also learn that nowadays this is not. Meaning, we're talking about what are we talking about to rent yourself out? We're talking about where you're living in his house and eating by his table, not that you're going home and coming back in the morning. That you
sleeping and everything. He's room and board.
Right. That's what we're talking about here. So
obviously it has to be room and board because he says that he's only allowed to do this if he doesn't have anything to eat.
Talking about shalosh shanim, it's talking about 24/7 shalosh shanim.
More than that, he doesn't. He's giving food, clothes, and sleeping quarters because otherwise he shouldn't do this anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No, then up to 3 years.
Up to 3 years, yeah, but more than that, he wouldn't be allowed to. The whole file is talking about.
Meaning this whole thing is talking about how it's not talking about like nowadays employment.
No. It's a Mishpat shall be gone and Sachi Atmi Benoket Gimishon and Mash with the Tvei Loy Motzer Shtabude Chuva Saram At Kalashona. Chain who Beben Ezra Pashas A Smell Irgishu Bezem the Gimishon also the course of Tam the Gimishon Shom Sochir Shame Sochir Olov the offer the Hyoy Sochir. Wow.
Like Nishaya.
Yeah, בהשתמעות יהדוס מותך, דאגנה בסוף מותר. We don't need to write this in because these are all misunderstandings.
Yeah.
לפעמים גימל שונים עשו לנפקלי מתורס סוחר. בעוד כוסו בספר בן שבע שם, בדברי הטייסס, משהו שמותר אפילו יוסף בגימל שונים, משקוס זה לשונים, כי בני ישראל הבונים לידם בקומו כמותר להסקי לעצמוי. דווקא עבד עברי, שאני יוכל להחזיר בי. ואינו יוצר קודם זמן, אלא בשטר ושחרור, אוי במיזום בנים. So he says, another
Right,
deal.
because here, if he's a sachir, right, if he's a pale, what do we learn by a pale? By a pale, you can leave any time.
So according to that, he should be allowed to work.
And everybody can't leave.
So according to that's halacha that we just said right now.
3 years is fine because you can't because yeah, he's for 3 years, but we already learned before that you can leave anytime you want if you're a sachir. you can be chayzer.
Can I ask you an Amaratisha question? Because if you qualified before that if you don't have what to eat and you don't have clothes and you don't have what to sleep, you're a real Nachmanis case, right?
Then that's different. Then you're allowed.
Then you're allowed to, right?
Here we're talking about maybe you could find something else, but it's not as good.
So then, can you do it even for more than 3 years?
You can do it. You can mamish be an eved ivri and mamish b'teiras eved and mamish with and remember and in such a way that you can't even be chazer by. Because an eved ivri can't be chazer. A sachir can be.
But my question is the very last case that we're speaking over here. That's talking about a soicher. He says.
Yeah.
Is that talking about? Is that talking about?
You could do even more than 3 years.
Yeah, but my question is that talking about even when he doesn't have what to eat and
because when you don't have what to eat, you can do 6 years that you can mamish be an eved ivri.
Yeah, but you're it's a bishtar and then you don't have
it's a bishtar then, or after sheishonim.
A person in today's day and age is a Rahmanas case.
In today's day and age is none of this. Because you don't have such a thing as an Eved Ivri nowadays.
In a case where you have an Eved Ivri, just because he works in the guy's house and he sleeps and it's like a better Eved Ivri?
No, that's not what makes him an Eved Ivri. Now you're being like an Eved Ivri, you're a Sachir. So he's pointing out that there's a big difference because because a Sachir is allowed to be chazer by any time he wants.
So what I'm saying is the last din of the Beersheba that the Kohen is bringing, that the Shach is bringing, is that benigud to what the Ramo says?
Yeah, it would seem.
That's what I was going to say because that's what I'm reading.
Like this, he's just pointing out that in Taisis is mashman that even more.
That he's allowed to say as long as he wants, because essentially he's not really an Eved Ivri. Right. It's only he's bedoime. It's not so he's not bedoime. He said Ramo says it's bedoime. Said it's bedoime. Why? Because he can go out whenever he wants, and Eved Ivri is.
You can't.
Thank you very much. Very beautiful.
Okay, we'll be in touch. Maybe we'll see.
Good gelernt. I don't know. I didn't get anything last night. I lost. It was too fast for me.
It goes very, very fast.
I think only last night.
I'm just taking like little mental notes without understanding necessarily how it fits in, and then now when we go over it, it starts to fit in.
I'm very happy because now when I learned it with you, a lot of Einfalls, we worked it on our own,
We're chewing on it. We're push it. We're not jumping to the next one. If we're not understanding it, we're talk it out until we understand it.
I want you to know something. Ich bin aber hoch zu verstehen eine Sache, but I need to put the time in. I can't, ich kann nicht laufen und laufen. I can't do it. It's like it doesn't. And
then you're getting it's like Daf Yomi where you're getting which is fine, but you're getting the general concepts. But the idea here is not just to listen to a shir and get the general concepts. The idea is we should push it understand the svaris and the whole logic and the whole
I learned Daf Yomi, right? And I learned Daf Yomi. I could tell you that my Iker Hanoah is just to get Yedias. Just to get Yedias.
So this is good, but I'm saying, but also when we're learning this to learn Choshen Mishpat.
Yeah, no, that Medaftos canon. You can't learn the Girsa.
By the way, it's fine. It's fine to learn even Kitzur Shulchan Aruch and to learn what's it called. All these are good, but for the purpose of what we're doing here, it's a different kind of. We have to go.
The limit has to go to Unke the Dina. You have to go to Unke the Dina. Otherwise,
listen. Yeah, all the Megirse. They're both good things. They're both important.
Sure. It's a very, very important.
And not knocking Daf Yomi Chas Shalom. It's a very good.
No. I mean,
I just started today, so.
Very nice. You do Menachos, yeah?
Yeah, Menachos, yeah. So I'm starting now doing 2 daf. I did 2 daf today. I have about a week to catch
Congratulations.
up. And thank you.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm not knocking. What do you call it? I